Alright, how's that? How about now? Okay. Okay, great. I'm streaming this on a different computer because I don't trust Evany software. Yeah, let me go ahead and fix this a little bit. And there we go. Right. Yeah. So this stream, I had a fan ask about their defense. I took a look at their defense and realized that they needed a lot more help. You have vacuum cleaner. That's the computer. Yeah, I saw Baby Bear's video, and I have seen that terms of service, and I read on several Reddits that people were thinking that the Evany client is spying on your PC. So this is a standalone laptop. It has none of my personal stuff on there because I don't need Evany to be looking at anything. So I hope it doesn't crash during the stream. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people get banned, and personally, I probably should get banned. I do a lot of things that are against the term of service, but so does everybody. Literally, everybody does something against the terms of service. You can't do anything not to get banned. Like the fact that all these major alliances recruit players. Yeah, all these major alliances recruit players. It's difficult to determine. You're not abiding by the terms of service. Yeah, it's incredible, and people will invest thousands of dollars in this game. I mean, people have spent over. Uh, I've seen people spend altogether over $2 million on this game, and it's insane. So for people to get kicked out after spending so much is incredible. So to just give some background on this stream, this is a large player, fairly large. They're 7 billion, K39, VIP 18. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Adam. Like, play Genghis shows all these keeps on sale, and that goes against the term of service. Just know that if you're buying keep, you may get banned. It's yeah. So basically, this is a player VIP 18, um, K39. The buffs are not great to be honest, and they made a lot of mistakes I've seen many players make. Actually, Optimize Evany made a similar video talking about some mistakes players make. One of them is if you look at this, the troop details, you'll see that they have basically just a bunch of troops of every layer, like 3.5 million of every layer, just all the way down. And when you get all the way down to their tier ones, it's I mean they have a lot of tier one mounted, but if you take a look at their defense general, it's not really set up for that. So yeah, it's a high power keep. I'm almost K41, and I have 3 billion less power than this guy. Hey, right, girl, how you doing? So I'm just gonna go through some common mistakes. I get a lot of people asking questions. Take a look at the defense. Usually, I ask for their defense generals and report. When we look at the defense generals on this keep, we can see that they're rocking a Boudica and a Dewey. Oh my god. Oh my god, no. So, so we're gonna have a lot of things to fix on them. Um, but It's honestly because there's not a lot of good. Yeah, people do overinvest into troops, and that will give you a lot of points in All Stars and Battlefield and stuff like that. But you end up giving a lot more points than you take. And I think my computer is going to break with uh with this. So let's first take a look at. I like to start really easy, the Monarch stuff. So I don't know what they have. They have Cav, Archer, Siege. Let's see what the defense. Let's see what this looks like. Defense, they're going with attack, mounted. Yeah, no, the speed books. Uh, Honestly, if I was this player, I'd go straight on Ares for defense. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch their defense to that. Yeah, honestly, before you start making troops, you need to have buffs. I think that's the best thing about. I think that's the best thing about going straight up T1 trap is you're not really investing into a lot of troops at that point. You're just investing into your defense, and then eventually you start making a nice little trap. Then you can start making troops once you have good buffs, good debuffs. So I'm just gonna work on their defense for now. Make that a nice little PvP, just in case they also add to an attack. This is a great setup, just straight up Ares for joining rallies and defending, especially if you're like this play and you have basically 3 million of every troop. Uh, but like I don't know what server this player is on. Maybe their buffs are good for their server, but uh, we're just gonna take a look at this and we're gonna save this. Let's see, edit, uh, edit, and we're gonna save. So we're gonna keep it right here. What are the buffs? That's a good question. Um, Maybe I could see a battle report they have somewhere. Let's see, defense lost. I don't know how long ago this was. This wasn't too long ago, so let's look at battle details. Uh, oh, troop buffs. No, this is a blessing tower. That's unfortunate. I don't actually know their buffs, and I don't want to. You're on server 597. Let's see what their bubble looks like. If they have a 3A bubble. I'm not gonna test their buffs, but we're just gonna go through this and fix some things. So first thing, I just want to see what they have as their Monarch talents. Something really easy, basic. Uh, Seems pretty basic. I'm not gonna. I don't think Monarch talents has a huge input on what you do, but I just want to make sure that they're all right for what it is. We went ahead and changed that. This is for defense, but if you're doing like an attack for example, Archer, right? Let's take a look at their Archer. So this makes sense. Attacking Archer, uh, reducing some, doing some debuffs. Honestly, if you're not the rally setter or you're not really attacking players, so right here it says this is a enemy ground HP. I would actually change this to mounted, just because this is an archer attack. You're gonna be going against ground HP, but it might also be good just to go straight up all the HP, because what you're probably doing is probably trying to zero somebody if you're attacking them solo. Let's see here. X-Wing. Looks like they're just that awkward phase. So this is Middle Goddess's Keep. I didn't want to call out anybody, but really, the server playing. So yeah, this is yeah, awkward phase from trap to building real defense. Yeah, before you start building those troops, though, you need to have those buffs. So let's take a look at the generals. The first thing I'm going to, if we take a look at their Civ gear, they have 4 pieces of choreo. Choreo, that's what I was looking at. They actually have quite a bit of Civ gear unlocked. Again, this is a VIP 18. So I mean, they've went through and they've unlocked quite a bit of at least the cheaper Civ gear, but they do have like right here. Um, they have quite a bit of good Civ gear that they could put on their generals. So let's take a look at their generals. And I'm just gonna walk through here, see what generals have what. Uh, One of the things that I saw happening in here, yeah, Melgas, it's kind of weird. Like, I know it says your reports are in Battlefield, but I can't have access to those because Ebony's kind of weird. I think they save them onto your phone, like as a temporary file. That's why I can't access them, because I've never been in Battlefield with you. Uh, you'd have to like share a battle report with me. But one of the things I see a lot of here is like these governors. A lot of runestones were spent on their specialties, right? So anytime you're investing in general, if you're going to invest runestones and Ares, you need to really make sure that that's a general that you're committing to. So let's go through here. Let's see what they have on some of their generals. Uh, okay, I mean, I guess if you don't have a Holy Palace officer, that works. Let's see here. All right, so your defense general is just basic Achaemenid gear. And we already saw that you have 4 pieces of choreo gear. So this is something that you're going to want to put those 4 pieces of choreo gear and upgrade these to Parthenian. I think that's how you say it, Parthenian gear. Or yeah, Parthian gear. And can only get one. Exactly. So yeah, Mr. Adam, you're right. Can only get either runes and Ares back. So when you're investing and you want to get your stuff back, you have to choose between Ares or runestones, and that makes it very difficult to commit to a certain general. So for example, right now I see your subsidy. You have Parthian gear, which is great. That it's not going to give the enemy troop debuff until you have 6 pieces. But you have this Augustus stuff, so it might be worth it. I'd have to take a look at it, but let's continue on. Yeah, so like for example, here's another subsidy. All right, take care, right, girl. Here's another subsidy that they have, and they have Imperial Spear. Now, even if you had 6 pieces of this is not going to help you with your uh, defense at all. So you need to make sure that you're keeping Parthian gear, 6 pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of this, um, just so we can come back to it later. You actually have a Parthian axe. There we go. Um, Parthian Imperial. Okay, so we need more Parthian gear here. Take a look at that later. And okay, again, we're gonna need more Parthian gear on this one. Just one more. We have no, actually no. It's worse than I thought. So right here we need Parthian right here. So I'm just gonna remove that so we know later. These need to be updated. Okay, thanks. I put the same Civ gear on a mare as well. The Abbas bracers and Augustus pants and helmet. Yeah, I have to do the math to see if that's good. One of the things that people do this for is uh, CHP debuff, range and CHP debuff, which makes sense. Those are really hard to get. So I'm not gonna criticize it too much. Uh, I mean, it does give good. This could make sense. I just haven't seen it too much, so I do see the enemy CHP. Yeah, yeah. It does make sense. That's why I'm not messing with this one. Uh, this one though, we need all Parthian gear. Uh, this one does have all Parthian gear, so I'm not gonna look at it too much. And at least this is all Echimenidae. So, I mean, eventually they're going to need to upgrade this to Parthian. I appreciate the time and effort you put into figuring out the mechanics. I'm a free-to-play player. 35 K35 1.3 billion. Only focused on defense, and you help. Now, honestly, thanks, Purple. I really do try to help. Yeah, players with the actual mechanics. Really, what it is once you know the mechanics, you can figure out your own strategies. You don't have to follow everybody else's advice. Um, Take a look at this. So this one's a little weird. Imperial Parthian. And this one needs to be upgraded. So we're going to remove this as a reminder. Well, there we have Parthian right there. So hopefully we can upgrade all of these to Parthian gear. And again, the whole reason is we're trying to get this enemy troop attack minus 18%. Or you could have Echimenidae gear and you get the enemy troop attack minus 15%. Either way, you want that overall debuff. So we're just going to upgrade this all the way. And I like to just throw one refine. I'm not going to do too much. Just get a refine. It's free buffs. Yeah. Yeah, all Echimenidae gear again. That works. Again, all this stuff should eventually be upgraded to Parthian gear. So, okay. Looks good on those subsidies. Now this obviously is the thumbnail of the video. And when I saw this, I was like, this is... I don't know how this happened or where you came to this, but Choreo, your defense should either be Parthian, pure Parthian, or Choreo. Maybe a combination of them. This is a straight up in-city... And maybe this was for a reinforcement kind of general thing, because this is good. Aztec's great for the... what is this? Yeah, Aztec's great for your ground general. But right now I'm going to take that Choreo gear off. And do you have anything else that we could... Oh, you literally have an Aztec. There you go. You had an Aztec shield. I don't know how the Choreo gear got on there. Mounted troop. Do you have anything for ground troops? Okay. Sure. We'll put that on there for now. And doesn't look like you have anything for that. Purple. Today I took my first solo in battlefield against a 2800 range attack buffs, and the guy had tier 15 and never took a hit from a well-layered march from tier 15. He lost 340 million. I lost 45 million. Honestly, once players get to about 1.5, even over 1 billion, if I scout them and I see that they have flat refines, I never solo them. It is always a rally, and I played against Yuki. If anybody have seen Yuki's videos, uh, they make a lot of short videos. They're a great tier 1 trap. I just I saw them, and some of my players soloed them, and it did not work out. So we just rallied the player 3 times. But they have a great tier 1 trap. If you want to see how a good one's built, that's a great, excellent way to see it. And they make great videos. Okay, so this looks like the primary uh, Archer General. Actually, let me see what they use before I keep going in this. Let me see what they use as their march presets. Do you guys hear my computer trying to break itself? Okay, so you have Electra and Tamaris. Okay. Patronus and Melisandre. Melisande. That just... Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I've never used this laptop to stream or anything like that before. It's just because I have I have several computers, and I don't want any software to be on them. Um, Actually, you can kind of see, if I tilt my camera, you can kind of see one running in the background right there. Uh, that's the one I mainly use, but I didn't want. Ever since the whole spyware incident, I don't want spyware to be on my main computers. Okay, so here looks like a better attacking setup. So you have Electra. We're gonna have to fix the skill books, but okay. And okay, they stack. I didn't realize that. Okay, great. So let's go back to the generals. Charles is a great assistant for Electra. I agree. Charles is great. Yeah, fan is trying for liftoff. I wonder if there's anything in the background I could turn off. There's literally nothing. I had the screenshot. Maybe I could just turn off that, but uh, I have a few. Honestly, it's probably my Google Chrome. All right, well, let's take a look at this. We're on Electra, so I think Electra is their main attacking general. Um, Freedom Hero, I think Freedom Hero is a great pants, especially because you can get this for free. You can get both of these for free from attacking the alliance settings. I could try to move the mic a little bit this way. Let me move the computer away from them a little bit. Let's try that. There. Um, let's see. Range attack, siege defense. So we're gonna see if they have better gear. Though Plantagen is really good. Like this is a good setup, in my opinion. For this is a great setup for their archers. Okay, great. Uh, and this looks pretty good. They need to update their Achaemenid gear. Um, okay, so when I said boots for free, Freedom Hero boots and Freedom Hero legs, yeah, the Alliance boss. So what I normally do is if I'm going to invest into Civ gear, I will never buy Freedom or Choreo unless I already had it um, to upgrade it. But I think for newer players, they should rely on the Alliance boss because they could get lucky and get a uh, weapon, chest, or boots that are Freedom gear or Choreo. So just keep that in mind from the Alliance boss. Always play the Alliance boss every week. Try to get a good score on it. Maximize your rewards. It's a good source of choreo gear. We haven't got to the bestials. So these need to be upgraded, and I don't know, maybe we'll get to these in a moment, but these just need to get upgraded to Parthian gear, and I think it'd be fine. So, okay. I I see that they have bourbon. That's good. So we're gonna have to change this. I actually told Ebony. Ebony acknowledged that their speed books are not working and they're investigating right now. However, if they do fix the speed books, I'm gonna probably have to make a video on what to do if the since the, if the books are fixed, because I think it's gonna change. I think you're gonna want mounted speed on uh, pretty much everything, really. Mm. But I'll get into that when or if that ever happens. Uh, there are lots of players just make the same amount of troops of their layers. What is actually the better ratio for layers, the better power exchange? Is there a way to balance the numbers? Thanks. Okay, Julie. I was actually thinking about making a video of this, how to transition from a tier 1 trap. One of the things that players do, like you said, they make just a ton of layers, which is fine if you're the biggest player around, because you're going to have a lot of buffs and you're going to have lots of marchers going out. But for someone transitioning from like a tier 1 kind of defense, I I would recommend building lots of archers. I think archers are great for not they're for great for defense because they're hard to get to. People have to siege through all of your siege to get to your archers, or they have to get through all your mounted and ground to get to your archers. So make a ton of archers. They're also great for defense. If somebody attacks you, your archers, even if it's a ground attack, the archers are still going to do a ton of damage to those ground if you have millions. Like, this player has 3 million of every troop. If they had 9 million of every archer instead, that would be pretty game changing. And then you could just join any rally. Somebody says, oh, ground rally, send archers. They say mounted rally, send archers. Siege rally, send archers. Just always send archers if your team can't fill the rally capacity. If your team does fill the rally capacity, that might be bad. But you could always send archers to any rally, and it's generally going to help. So it's a very safe troop to make. Uh, yeah, Mr. Adam, you're right. Speedbooks did work. It would change the game fundamentally, and maybe that's what Ebony's taking a look at. If they realize that the speedbooks are not working, and they all of a sudden made them work exactly how they say, that's going to change everything, and it's going to break a lot of people's current strategies. Uh, yeah, Metal Goddess, I realize that that's what you're trying to do, get away from the tier 1 trap, but uh, the difficulty is not exposing yourself to getting basically bleeding points, and that's the challenging thing. Gouda, is there any place for ground rallies in the end game? On my server, the ground niche is wide open. Everyone is range or siege based. Um, so ground rallies, mm, ground rallies are good if the enemy doesn't have any mounted. So if the enemy doesn't have a lot of mounted, like you already ranged all the mounted gone, or at least the majority of the mounted, you could start doing ground rallies. The issue is if your ground are not stronger or not that much stronger than the enemy's ground, their archers are going to eat you alive. So your ground have to get through the enemy's ground in order to be useful. So if the enemy still has a lot of ground, you might want to look at doing a different strategy. Okay, let me take a look at these. Yeah, I don't know what their assistants are, so I'm not going to change the skill books right now, but Again, right now, mounted troop speed does not work, so we're going to take a look at that as well. They have a Merlin. So, Merlin, is this one cultivated? It is cultivated. Do you have your covenants? Nearly full covenanted on your Merlin. So this is I didn't see this one. This one doesn't have a spiritual beast. It looks like there's a lot of gear on here, so I'm gonna take this gear off. I'm gonna assume that right now you're not using this Merlin. Uh, I'm gonna remove the gear just in case we need it for somewhere else. Yeah, it might go better somewhere else. Just so if anybody doesn't know this, gear doesn't work on the assistant generals. Uh, when assistant generals first came out, it did, and it completely broke the game for a solid week. Uh, yeah, yeah, Mr. Adam, you're like when the enemy doesn't have a lot of top tier mounted, ground will destroy mounted. Will destroy ground, and will just break through your defenses. So what is Sola? Add Archer Camp General? Okay, so doesn't look like you're using them for your Archer Camp. So I'm just going to take off this gear because we could possibly use it for a different general. You have a plantogen gear. That's great on a different general, but I understand if you're uh, so these premium duty generals. One thing to keep in mind is that you're not going to be able to ascend them unless you're spending lots of money on these. Um, so on my main account, all of my duty generals are the free ones. Uh, it's just gonna take a long time to ascend them, and once you have a couple ascensions, sure maybe you could use the premium duty general, but for right now, I just keep these in your back pocket and slowly collect them. Zhao Yun, you do not use this general, so we're gonna take all of this off as well, just in case we need it. I still hear my computer screaming. Who would have thought that the Evony client would be such an intensive game? This is an Alienware laptop, so it's just funny to see it screaming over such a basic game. So even the debuffs do not work on Assistant Defense General. No, the debuffs work on the Assistant Defense General, not from the gear though. Um, let's see. Having 500 tier 1 mounted should build some tier 1 ground as well. Tier 1 siege 20 million. Yeah, on my account, I'm making a lot of tier 1s. Tier 1 mounted, tier 1 ground, and tier 1 archers. And have a couple flats for each. That's my strategy right now that I'm going into it. Honestly, I just saw a lot of mistakes on this account, and I thought it'd be really good to just kind of go over some of these things. So here's an idle assistant. So subsidy general. So we'll take a look at their subsidies, but if we're going to use them, we'll give them a spiritual beast. This is your monster general. Okay. Um, which makes sense. Ooh, okay. Not a great monster general, but they do add debuffs. So I guess if you're joining rallies with this one and the Beowulf, you'd help debuff the monsters. That's actually a pretty solid strategy. Mihai, again, looks like you're using Mihai as an assistant, but so here's the thing, like you did not ascend Mihai at all, which is great. That means you can dump Mihai and get your runestones back. Yeah, so no, I did not close my X-ham. That then I had to find that page again. All premium beasts should go on mares if you have the Thebes. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. If you have spiritual beasts and you have a defense dragon, all your spiritual beasts, for the most part, should go on your defense subsidies, unless you have you're missing a dragon. Then you can use a spiritual beast. Some spiritual beasts are quite useful, but for the most part, oh no, I messed up. Let's get through this. Get back to where we were. Okay, so again, right here, you fully specialized your Tamaris, which is great if you're going to have Tamaris as an assistant, but you also ascended Tamaris. So what's going to happen is when you find a better assistant, which I already see that you have Merlin. Merlin's a better assistant. You have, um, some other great archer generals. That means that when we recycle, when we dump Tamaris, you either have to choose runestones or blood of Ares, and that's I mean, for here I choose runestones because you have them fully maxed out, but that's just something to take in consideration. Maria, what are you using her for? I guess to debuff monsters? I'm just going to remove. I'm going to assume you're not really doing much with her. Okay. Frigg, which again, it doesn't seem like you're doing much with, so I'm going to just remove this. Frigg would make an excellent assistant general. So, question for the people watching: when you're choosing a general, what is your way of choosing which general is best for you? What websites do you use, or what YouTubers? Who are you looking at? I mean, just a random palace appears with you could actually send this 2 stars. Okay. So right now, these are some of the generals I'm talking about. Like a lot of specialties have investments and blood varies. Specialties and blood varies. And looking at this, kind of low on blood varies, so you might want to get the blood of Ares out of these. Well, so I'm gonna get to it, but when it comes to generals, so this is fine. If you're sending a Beowulf to debuff, you have the Covenant. Okay, good. You have the Covenant. Okay. If you're sending Beowulf to debuff, it's fine. I'm not gonna mess with that. Hestia. Okay. Hestia would make a great assistant. Honestly, Hestia is going to be a great assistant for your whoever is your mounted. So we will take a look at Hestia and her specialties. Yeah, I do agree with that. I keep um, Avenue with GOT. Uh, Keeping at least one copy of every general so that you can, even if you do your perfect dismiss, keeping one copy just so you could do it, use it for a covenant is an excellent thing to get used to right now. Let's see here. Okay, how many of these do you have? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do us a favor right now and do a perfect dismiss so you can get your blood varies back. Okay. Oh no, it took me out. I don't want to miss any generals. Oh yeah, I knew that was X-Wing. For some reason, I got it mixed up with your Discord name. But yeah, X-Wing, you're right. Anytime you dismiss a general, it's good to try to keep a copy of that general, especially if they're a premium general that's going to be difficult to get. If you already dismissed a premium general that you had, and it wasn't perfect dismiss, contact any customer supports. Tell them, hey, I had this general. Then you guys put a covenant on it, but I already dismissed them. Can I have it back? Like right here, like if you dismissed Oda Uchi or whatever, you did a normal dismissal, and then later on you needed her for a covenant. Talk to Ebony customer support. They can see it in your game, and they'll give you back this. They should give you back the general. I've heard of them doing that. So, uh, in case you made that mistake, so we're just gonna go ahead and perfectly dismiss Michikov. Why does it do this? Oh. So as long as you have a copy, you don't need to keep one with upgrades right. So you need to be careful about all these dismissing. So let's see here. You have Ragnar. He's going to be a good general, either an assistant or I don't think you have enough to yeah, just an assistant for now. So we're going to have to look. Napoleon, Harold. Okay, it doesn't look like you have any more random Civ gear on your generals. It's like a wild Civ gear appears. Okay, so now we just have to figure out what generals we should be using for you. Okay, great. So taking a look at your items. Seeing, let's reset it. What did you do that for? Okay. Taking a look at some of these items. What you have a lot for, let's see here. What general could you fully ascend? Okay, I mean, Sun Sea, you could fully ascend to Sun Sea. I don't know if that's going to be good compared to your mounted general that you have right now, but that's an option. You also have Edward 3. That's a decent archer. So those two might be some generals we might look at as your PvP generals. Um, you actually have James Conrad and Ludwig. You could fully ascend to Ludwig? Okay. Okay. I don't see a lot of options for defense. So one of the things I do is, so there's a lot of websites that you could use for um, figuring out your generals. Oh, that's gonna be terrible. Uh, the three that I see people use the most is One Shield Gamer, That's used very often. It's a very uh, easy one to look at. Yeah, Ludwig ground is great. We might stick with that. And they have a lot of the. You pick on any of these generals, and they'll tell you a lot about it. Thera makes a lot of good evening guides. It's a little bit more, you go through it and it'll kind of walk you along it. But the Ebony Guide Wiki, even though they don't give me credit for their monster um, calculator that they made, they also make pretty good guides, a little more in depth. Uh, Something that I don't really look at their combinations, but I do look at their lists. So like, let's look at generals. I'll show you guys a quick thing. If you guys use Ebony Wiki, I'm going to show you one of the things that I do that really helped me out. So on any of their lists, they'll have this thing called tables. So you go to this table, and it always upsets me because you can't see everything. You have to scroll to the right, down here. So what you can do is if you're on any of these tabs, just press F12 on your computer. It'll bring up this, and it looks like, if you have no idea what it says, it looks completely foreign. All you have to do is see this 700 picks right here, uncheck it, and then press F12 again, and now you can see everything. So if you ever use their website, Ebony Guide Wiki, that's it's really helpful. So just want to give that quick tip right here. And when we're taking a look at their generals, we said Edward III. And they also have so Edward III would be good for reinforcing. I don't know. We'll take a look at it. Great. Until you use your no, you actually X-wing. You make great sheets. I don't think that's something that a lot of people have access to from a website. But X-wing makes some great spreadsheets. Honestly, some of the best. Let's go at your champions. Okay. Well, taking a look at the champions. Okay, so it looks like I'll give you guys a quick tip. If you need a greet, because Ebony makes it so that it takes a long time to tickle these. So after you tickle, you need to wait a minute. If you didn't know this, you can exit and go back. You can go back to your champion and tickle again, and not have to wait the full minute. If that's a concern that you have, but that's just a little tip on tickling your champions a little bit faster. Alright, really the main thing I want to do is work on this defense. So let's see what your defense general looks like. So you have Boudica. I personally don't think Boudica is a great defense general. Mostly because it's lackluster on your other troops, but I'm not going to change the defense general. It's already 4 stars. Boudica does keep your mounted quite strong, so I'm not going to change the general right now. Choosing your defense general is a huge commitment. I had a 1-star Leo 3 for the longest time because I didn't know what I was going to commit on. And the best free general you can get for your defense, I would say, is Richard Lionheart. But also, I mean, Zachary Taylor's good. Boudica, if you're doing a pure tier 1 trap and you have nothing else but mounted, sure. But once you start making archers, you're going to want something that buffs archers. So let's take a look at your Boudica. Let's see here. And there you go, Ecumenidae gear. So this should all be choreo gear. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot your wall general has gear too. No, I took the gear off your wall general, so that's fine. We did good. Um, all right, so again, if you don't have choreo gear, you should at least have all your Ecumenidae gear upgraded to Parthian. These are great tier one. Those are good tier one refines. Obviously, the ore gathering speed wouldn't be a great refine, but for the most part, this looks like your typical tier one trap, with the exception of these other lower refines. Um, if you just signed in, so I see Christopher said just signed in at the right time. Uh, this isn't a tier one trap keep, though it has a tier one trap general. So once Blue Coat Zachary Taylor, you're right, Adam. The general isn't the end all be all, and in fact, generals have such a small part in the amount of buffs that you receive from them. Like you could use a Electra as your ground general. It's not going to be it's not a huge difference in buffs. It's probably overall like 300 percent in buffs. So let's put your choreo gear on here. So we're gonna do that for now. Choreo. Um, Actually, I forgot what choreo gear you had. I remember you had a chest piece. Did you have boots? Yeah, choreo boots. And we had the bracer that we took off the lease. So, right there, your in-city, it's going to improve your in-city buffs quite a bit. These refines, though, when it comes to your defense, I highly recommend flat attack. It can be flat ground attack, flat archer attack, flat siege, flat mounted, but I do recommend flat attack on all your refines. The only exception to that rule would be if you're a very strong siege defense player. And I'm thinking about making a video on all the different defenses. Siege defense for a long time confused me because I always thought, okay, well, your tier 15s, tier 14s, tier 13s, when somebody does a tier 11 rally on you, they're just going to be attacking the protective layers. They're not going to do that much damage. What I failed to really think about at the time was the tier 11s, when they're attacking your tier 15s and tier 14 siege, they're going to be taking on counterattack. So the tier 11, they're going to attack the tier 15. The tier 15 won't directly attack the tier 11, but the tier 11s will take on counterattack. So if the tier 11, if you debuff their HP, and you have a lot of attack on your tier 15s and tier 14 siege, you're going to do more damage to the tier 11s through counterattack than they can with their normal attack on you. So that's how the siege defense works. But it basically takes you focusing on a lot of siege buffs. And it may leave like some of your other troops, like mounted troops, for example, exposed to archer attacks. So just beware that if you're going for a siege heavy defense, that would be the only time you may want to put some of these as siege attack. I still think flat is good because if you look at your troops, flat is better for tier 11 and below. 100% it's going to be better for tier 11 and below. Yeah, so tier 11 and below are going to benefit this. Above tier 11, so tier 12, tier 13, they still benefit from flat. It's not like they don't benefit at all, so they still benefit from it. Whereas a percentage, your tier 5s, tier 6s, tier 4s, and below, they're not going to be benefiting as much from that percentage. So that's why I think flat is really the way to go on attack. Yeah, well, CHP, yeah, Adam, you're right. CJP is a nightmare to debuff. So if you are doing a siege attack, I do understand why people go for siege HP debuff now. I remember people kept on saying, "Oh yeah, siege HP debuff is what you need for your defense," and I didn't understand it at the time when people were saying that. I mean, like I could understand mechanics, but I didn't really understand why they were wanting to debuff siege HP when. Did I just get disconnected? Okay, I'm back. My computer is crying right now. Do you got me now? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, my computer's crying right now. It, okay, so let's go back to this defense general. So we have I mean there are good defense generals that aren't even defense generals nowadays. Like they have like for example, one of the best siege defense generals right now I think is Melisandre, whatever her name is. Uh so okay, let me look at what Julie Downey's saying. I got copies of the Richard finally and now waiting for Blood Varies. But I was also considering how well he might go as a range general. I have 6 choreo also, but currently have 3-star Marshall Max. And fully Covenant Brock with Max Specialty 2. Which would you keep as an assistant to Richard? Right now, Brock is probably the best assistant general for defense in terms of overall buffs. Yeah, maybe if I turn down some of the graphics on this. So I'm gonna take a look at this. Let's take a look at this again. So I don't know all of their all these websites, and again, X-Wing probably has the best spreadsheets on this. But just looking at Defense General, looking at best assistant wall generals, and we're gonna take a look at what they say. And right here they say William Marshall or Isaac Brock, sorry. And this is just saying like overall buffs that you're getting as the assistant. Isaac Brock's gonna give you 160%. William Marshall 160%. So both of these are gonna give you 160% buffs. Is this with specialty? No, this is basic skills. Yeah, I was gonna say that seems a little bit low. Uh, basic skills only. So we're gonna go with this way. Overall rating. All right, so Isaac Brock, as an assistant, will give you 459% buffs. So Isaac Brock is definitely the best as the assistant for your wall general in terms of these buffs. Like if you're siege focused, no, he's not going to be the best. I'm saying just basically, if you're a siege focused, Tekanaka is going to be the best. Or Melisandre. Can I say her name? Melisandre. Melisandre is also a really good assistant general if for your wall if you're going straight up defense. So that's what I'd be taking a look at. Frigga also if you're doing a ground defense. I want to close out a Chrome and hopefully that helps. Okay, let's go back to this wall general. Did I pass it? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I hope that answered it, Julie. Richard's great because he buffs the defense and HP on all of your troops. He's free, and he actually doesn't take a lot of specialty. Like, you do not have to max out Richard Lionheart's last specialty because it's just hospital capacity. So you can just get a flexible specialty after you max out the first three. It's for a free to play player, that's the way to go, I think. All right, so let's take a look. You have two more gears right here that we're gonna take a look at. Um, what do you have for your weapon? That's what I need to say. Let's see. Um, so this is probably going to be a Parthian. So we're just doing Parthian gear. If you have anything that's relatively decent for Parthian, actually we're going to take it off of your subgenerals. I remember when your subgenerals had decent Parthian gear. So let's do that, and we'll just put a not so good Parthian gear on them. So which one was it? Range troop attack. That we could use this. I don't know if I'd want to because it's march speed. Well, let's see what buffs. Okay. So just taking a look to see if you have a decent weapon on your subsidies. This one could work as a temporary fix. But I think we're going to go with this one. This Parthian axe. And for now we'll just give them a sword. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm not going to use this computer to stream again. I have 5 computers. This computer is the... I use this computer to watch YouTube while I use my other 3 computers. And one of the computers I use when I'm just on the go. So I was hoping this computer could handle it. I guess not. Alright, so let's take a look at... up here again. Keep on passing. There you go. Take out this Parthian axe. What's nice about the axe is it's going to debuff ground and range troop, and it's going to give your siege attack a little bit more damage. Let's see here. Do we have a Parthian? No, of course not. Alright, let's take a look to see if you have a good Parthian greaves. But honestly, I think one of the biggest things is just making so many troops before your buffs are set, and it's difficult because Ebony has so many buffs in so many different places that it's easy to lose sight of them. Whoops. Yeah. No, the axe is pretty good for Parthian. Okay, so it doesn't look like you have anything there. So we're actually just going to... Oh no. I'm in that awkward stage where I don't know where the forge is. There we go. So we're just going to upgrade one of these to Parthian. Any of them have decent buffs? I guess it really doesn't matter. Compose. Oh, this is... So let's go ahead and upgrade this to Parthian. Hey, Goddess, I'm going to have you do the refines. I don't think a lot of people want to see uh, refining a bunch of equipment, so I do apologize. You're going to have to do that on yourself, on your own, but I'll at least tell you what refines that you can go for. So, and for your main general, consider upgrading, but it's not a huge thing. You already have a 4-star, maybe 5-star Boudica, and it's going to keep your mounted troops a little bit stronger against the archer attack. So here we go. Here's our Parthian, and we're going to upgrade it. Okay. Do a quick refine. So taking a look at this now, all of your troops, this is every troop in your keep now have that 12% attack. That's great. You can kind of consider this like a 48% buff. And also these are just general good buffs to have in your keep. And good debuffs. So this works really well as your defense. Until you get a choreo bow. Like next thing, if you spend a lot of money in this game, you get another ability to get a Civ gear. Get a choreo bow and choreo greaves, and your defense will be set, really. Yeah, I only do serious refining when it's not a refining event. Right? Like every time you need to do refining is never a refining event. Actually, what's funny is I looked up the refining file in Evney because somebody was asking how the percents work. Like, what are the odds that you'll get something? And yeah, I'm still looking at that file, but I took a good look at that file to see if there's any way to kind of cheat Evney out of their refines. So, okay, if you say you have a lot of Civ boxes, let me take a look real fast. Take a look at your items. Okay, so what we're gonna need is if you ever get the supremacy, which is, I'm not saying go and invest in this. I'm just saying if you happen to get 28 more pieces, but once you invest into this, you'll do fine. And for the civilian conquest scrolls, you can get the choreo greaves, but I wouldn't worry about that until you have the bow, because you could still get it from the alliance boss. Take a look at the alliance boss real fast. See where you are at that. Yeah, it's I don't blame her. I have a couple Civ gear boxes because you just don't know what to get yet. So make sure you do the alliance boss. Eventually, you'll be able to get one of these, and it's very possible that you could get that choreo bow for free. I mean, it's a 8% chance, but that's a huge chance to get such a awesome item. Yeah, I agree. Weapons are definitely one of the better items to get, and chest pieces are also pretty good. I'd wait on the boots. Yeah, I also need to amplify all mine, but I'm always waiting to amplify my Civ gear. Use advanced refine to look for the buff you want the least, and it will never show up. If you set it for the buff you want, the odds. Yeah, X-Wing. Refines. So there's a K41 uh, VIP 22 that I'm oh, did you thank you thanks. I exited out of that, but you're welcome. Uh, there's a VIP 22 K41, and I'm going through his account fixing stuff. But I saw an email he wrote to customer service asking them where did all his gems go, and customer service responded, "It looks like you spent 10 million gems refining." And I thought that was just hilarious. Like, this guy spent so many gems refining his Civ gear. Uh, let's continue with it. So your let's do the skill books for your generals. So for your defense general, a lot of players ask what skill books should you use for your defense. Obviously, I'm against speed books for now until Ebony fixes them. Then it might change. Um, but let's try to get rid of the speed one. Usually, you just want to focus on attack and HP. Um, so what does your assistant have? Uh, range bonus, range bonus. Okay, those are fine. So let's do that. Specialty. Let's get rid of the speed for now. So we're just gonna give you HP. So you have mounted troop HP. So range bonus, I think, is still good. Siege range bonus, they work. They do work. It's just not as high as Ebony claims. So, and I think a lot of people get that wrong for my video because I say it's a lie, but what it is, like, let's find one of those. So this siege range bonus right here, it says 50, but it's actually only 5. It only brings your range up over 5. To most players, that doesn't matter. They don't know what this even means. But it doesn't bring it up as much as they say it does. That's all I'm saying. So let's give you siege HP and ground troop HP, since you have a lot of those, a lot of both of those troops. Okay. I guarantee the speed is going to take forever to go away. Why? Why is this my life now? Of course, the speed doesn't go away. I think mounted troop HP is fine because you do have a lot of them right now. I personally think HP is probably one of the more important skill books to have. Okay, so not worth it then. Mechanically, that could be an advantage. So here's the advantage of having, even if it's just an extra 5 range, why it could be useful. If the enemy archers have more range than your archers, that means that when they attack your archers, so let's say all your mounted are dead, and the enemy range are now attacking your archers are going to take damage, and the enemy won't take counter damage on that attack. So you want to have at least as much range as they do. So let's just put level 4 HPs on all these. Then you know what? I probably should put a archer attack instead of this mounted troop HP, to be honest. But that's going to depend on whatever she decides to do with her defense strategy. Alright, so let's go to your assistant. I It's funny that you say it as like you have superstitions on skill books, because I think that's what a lot of people have with the game is just superstitions. So this is hard. So you have this man, you have this Dewey who's fully specialized with your 3 stars right here. So if you decide you want to change to a better assistant general, you're gonna have to decide if you want the blood varies or the runestones. So that's again, that's something that you need to be cautious of. When you get these premium generals, they make great assistants, but I wouldn't invest into their blood of Ares until you have enough to max them. Really. All right, let's do the skill book. Let's get rid of this ground speed. I think I'm gonna put archer attack. I think archer attack's a really good one to have. Siege attack's also pretty decent. We'll just go back and forth on those. Actually, you know what? You do have a ton of. You actually do have a lot of siege, so we'll do siege attack. Whoa! Get rid of the ground speed on the first one. That's awesome. Alright, so... There we go. Now your defense is already looking better. It just has to get some refines. And your subsidies just need to go full Parthian gear, which I'm not going to go too much into. Let me do one of your PvP marches. So you have Polygenes. Polygenes. There we go. Polygenes with Napoleon Prime. That is a really good setup, though they don't go together. They don't go together, so otherwise it'd be really good. I have ground defense in my wall general. Should I swap to HP? Yes. HP is superior to defense in almost every situation. The only time defense is better is probably against low tier troops. That's about it. So I would always go HP for everything over defense. I mean, I'm not saying defense is bad, and there could be a case where if your keep specifically has millions of ground troops and not that many of other troops, then you might want to go defense. But yes, HP is generally going to be better than defense skill books. All right, so first of all, let me take a look at your dragons. Make sure you don't have okay, you don't have Nidhogg leveled up. Okay, so let's take a look at your mounted generals. So you have Sun Ce. You can fully ascend Sun Ce. Sun Ce's pretty good. Maybe not the best, but Sun Ce is, from what I understand, is the most handsome general. Now I'm not a woman. I can't really specify, but I'm pretty sure Sun Ce is one of the more handsome generals for the men. So he also has that going for him. If there are any women in the comments that can decide on who they think is the best looking male general. I was on Reddit that just divulged into what is the best female looking general. Sun Ce is definitely a decent mounted general. Polygenes. So Polygenes is a great solid general. So we might just work on an assistant instead of I wonder if Polygenes goes with Hestia. We have to take a look at that. Yeah, that might be what we do. Elisa smoking hot. Do you think Elise before or after her skin, her little skin change? Yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna go with Polygenius and Hestia as your assistant. I think they go together. So let me change that for you. What is this? Oh, oh, also, okay. So let's see if Hestia works. Where is she? There she is. Oh, great, perfect. So I'm just gonna make Hestia your assistant for Polygenius. Did you get the debuff books? I didn't even think about that. Uh, what was that? That was the oh, is that event gone? Yeah, that event's off. That was some free debuff books. That's unfortunate. Debuff would have been a pretty decent thing to have on her. Okay, so looking at your Polygenius, he has mounted speed. We're gonna get rid of that. Mounted HP and march size. So I'm gonna put attack on here. Okay, change. I did get them, but you don't know where they are. Okay, that's fine. We'll take a look at them. Okay. So you don't have attack, right? Just HP and march size. So let's put it at ground attack, mount attack. Okay, and march size. So let's do HP. Yeah, it honestly. Oh, perfect. Okay, we didn't lose your march size. All right, great. So let's just put this as attack and HP. So debuff skill books, they are terrible to buy. Yeah, I haven't looked at the Blazons yet. We have not looked at the Blazons. Debuff skill books are terrible to purchase, so it's great that Evany made them as an event item because they were such a bad investment, especially since you couldn't put them on your defense. And right now, I see people putting debuffs on their sub-cities, which I haven't looked at it, but I think it's just for attacking. So it's just if you're solo with your sub-cities. You... Okay, so we're gonna wear this one instead. For now, it has better... oh my god. Let's see. We can... I'm just seeing if you have better refines on anything else. Set attributes, basic refines. Ah, here we go. We're gonna wear this one since it's more suited for your mounted. Planogen, that's great. We want to get rid of this siege machine defense. Probably should wait to a refining event, but you can get rid of that. So that's good. You have Plantogen. This is probably one of the best helmets for mounted. the Planetogen helmet. It's great. Now, if you were doing more monsters, this would be better as Rurik, and so would this. But honestly, even if you're not, I told a lot of my players to get Rurik gear because they are not the rally setters. So the debuffs, you have to think about this. The debuffs are not going to really apply. So think of this when you're looking at the bourbon gear. Enemy range troop HP. If you're not setting the rally and if you're not soloing, that's not going to apply. Marching range troop attack. That doesn't matter. So really all you're getting out of this is right here. The mounted troop attack and HP. And I'm not saying that this doesn't matter. That this attack does help you a little bit, but for the most part, if you're looking at it, it's not a huge benefit. And then when you look at this, okay, mounted troop attack, that's good. Defense, that's good. This is good for attacking and reinforcing. So overall, this is a pretty good item. But you might want to go Rurik. Just think about it if you do more monsters than actual PvP. Okay, so let's look at the Hestia. Alright, we're going to take this off because we don't need it anymore. Let's see, you have mounted troop attack, HP, march size. This is literally what I just gave your Polygenius. Probably should take a look at that. Okay. Let's change these. So we need a mounted troop defense. Oh, where is it? And for the other ones, I'm going to see if you have the debuff just before I get started on this. See if you did actually pick up those debuff skill books. Oh, God. You have so many items I don't recognize, and I do not see the debuff skill books. And it's okay if you don't. It's like, again, debuff on your attacking general is only going to matter if you're doing solos and if you're setting rallies. I don't know if you set rallies in your alliance, but let's say you went to juniors all stars and you were up a few levels, you might end up setting a rally or something. So I'm going to go back to Hestia, and what we're going to do is we're going to give, I'd say, ground troop, we can say attack or HP. So where is this again? So I was thinking about making a video that's going to discuss this, but by giving your assistant general ground troop attack or range troop attack or something like that, it's going to help you against other players when you're fighting over, like I say, a temple. It's going to make your protective layers do more damage than they otherwise would, which is going to help you take out those layers faster. Okay. So, not specialty, sorry. Skill books. And I'm also going to give you just march speed. March speed is good for joining rallies, which is more important than people think, because a lot of times whether or not you hit a rally is based on if everybody joins that rally. Like, you have to get inside that rally. And a lot of times the rally setter is waiting for everyone to join, and by that time the other player could teleport. So we got those two, and I'm going to give you ground troop. We'll do ground troop HP. Okay. That way it keeps your ground layers alive a little bit better. So mounted troop defense. Ground troop HP. And march speed. Alright, so I don't know how many runestones you have, but when you... Oh, I bet you're not even... Yeah, you need to be a little bit higher of a level. Oof. Is that enough? Yeah. So, specialty. I'll just learn all. Oh yeah, I forgot you're a little low on gems. Okay, I'll let you do the specialties. But something I will caution you on is, you say you have 870. You have 870 of these lucky favors. So, what these do, if you've never used them, Metal Goddess, is it makes it so that you use less of your runestones. But you only want to use them on your last specialty. Don't use them any later, but you can bring them up here and you can learn, but don't use them on your first 3. Only use them on your last ones, because your last runestones are very difficult to come by. So we could go through some of your generals, dismiss them that have that we don't need, but that's probably what we're going to do for those. Okay. Hi, Zach. Hey, Derek. I have an out-of-topic question. Do you know if you get your Ares gear part back if you disassemble a Imperial gear part? No. I'm fairly certain you don't. I'm fairly certain you just get your resources, your materials. So Metal Goddess, I will show you one. I'll do the specialty on one of these. So, for example, we'll do it on this one because these are kind of rare as well. So I'm going to maximize it to level 10. No, actually, can I just learn all? Okay. So, can I learn all again? Great. Okay. So you see how it has 30 right here? I'm just going to put it as 90. It says current double experience rate. So what that's going to do is it's going to increase this level up more. So if I just did if I did it with none. Okay, here. I'm going to clear this. So right here, I'll do 600. You'll see this is at 0 right now, right? 600. Don't show me again. It goes up 30,000. If I put up to 90, where it went up 30,000 once, go ahead and learn, it went up 60,000. So it took up less of your runestones, less diamonds. Not diamonds, I mean less gems. So that's what these are good for. It's really good, especially towards your genius and stuff like that. That's when you should be using these. Is for your level 3, level 4, and Grandmaster and Genius. That's the best. You know what, Isaac, I'm not sure, but I'm probably going to test it out. Alright, see you later, Mr. Adam. Thanks for joining. Alright. Let's work on your archer as well. So I saw that you had your Electra and a Tamaris, but I saw you also had a Merlin and a... What's his name? Ragnar? So, Ragnar and Merlin are both good assistant generals. Let me see how Merlin does if Merlin pairs with Lise. Okay. But you don't have his specialties, so it. Oh, yeah, I just realized you have him ascended too. Um, so what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna do this for you right now. We're gonna use Ragnar as your assistant, but just to give you some Blood of Ares, see how you have Merlin? You don't have enough to even bring him up. There's no reason to ascend him. So what we're going to do is we're going to perfectly dismiss him, get your Blood of Ares back. There's no reason to ascend him in the first place. So that's going to give you some of your Blood of Ares back. We could actually do that with some of your generals that you're not using. Like, I mean, he is a governor, so I won't mess with them. Okay. Someone who's not a Senate officer. I mean, we could do it James Conrad, but not James Conrad. Never mind. Let's see, who else are you not using that we could just dump? Tamaris. It would probably be worthwhile to dump Tamaris. Did you cultivate her all the way? Yes. So that's a hard sell. Either get 16k runestones, which you need your runestones, or 15, nearly 1500 blood of Ares. That is a tough decision. I would definitely go with the runestones though. Yeah. And you're not going to use Tamaris as your main general. Yeah, I mean, you already have Electra. Tamaris and Electra are pretty much equivalent in how strong they are. And you have Merlin and Ragnar, who are both better assistants. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that for you. We're gonna take off the battle tested, move it, and we're gonna get rid of your Tamaris. Ouch. And you just got 15,750 runestones back, so we could invest that into another general. Kind of hurts, but yeah, something we had to do. Let's see what else do you have that is not important to have. I'm not going to do this George Dewey because you're already using George Dewey as an assistant for your wall general, so there's no point in that. Okay, Mordred and... Do you have this one cultivated? Yes, okay, so we're not... She might make a decent assistant, so I'm not going to do anything with her. I look in New York favorite. Okay, so do you need to have 1 star if you want to have this some Blood of Ares back? No. If you enhanced, so if I go to enhance right now and I just enhance a portion of this, you can get your Blood of Ares back. But if you have not put any Blood of Ares in the general, you won't get any Blood of Ares back. And you can only do it with a perfect dismissal. So I just noticed that you have this Mordred, and he also has... See, this is tough. Again, like, I could dismiss, I can get 1,000 Blood of Ares back, or 15,000 runestones. Before I invest too much into your Hestia, let's take a look at if Polygenis and Mordred work together. I don't think they do. I'm fairly certain that they don't. Oh, they do. Okay, so you might just want to put. We might just use Mordred as your assistant for your Polygenist. Um, that might be something we come back to. I don't. We'll come back to it. Hestia is better. Yeah, and you need Blood of Ares to ascend your duty generals. That's another thing about your generals is any Blood of Ares that you have left over that you don't need, use it on your duty generals because if you look at this, in city defense 15%, times that by 4, that's 60% on your defense. HP for your in city troops, another 60% overall buff. So this is like a huge thing that you could use for your ascensions, and of course, you'll do this during the ascension event. So don't do it now, but do it during the ascension event so you can get some of your Blood of Ares back. I may go with the Mordred just so she doesn't have to spend a lot on the a lot on runestones because it's quite an investment and it's just a mounted general. So you're right. We might do the Polygenius Mordred bit. So let's take a look at some of your other generals, and if not, if we don't want to get rid of it, we could always throw it in a as a governor slot. All right. Do you have any other? Come back over here. Do you have any other generals that are randomly ascended that we don't need? Okay. And this is what gets me. So you have a 5-star at least. I'm going to keep it for now. But know that you also have enough fragments to pretty much 5-star. What's his name? The other ground general. I completely forgot his name. The one that goes with Alessandra. Who's that? I have to look at your items again. So, press favorites. Okay. So, you're probably not doing ground generals too much, but just to keep it in mind, um, you have enough for that's what it is, Ludwig. So you might want to change your lease to a Ludwig. Ludwig is considerably better, but it's a heavy investment. So I doubt that you're doing a lot of ground attacks, but just to keep that as an idea. Okay. But I think that's it for getting rid of these. I don't know. You might have a better siege general, but Patronus is all right. Like he's not terrible. Like for example, Zuka. So this is a good this is a great siege general, and again you have. So do you put Elise in the Senate then? For right now, don't bother. I say use Elise. It's not going to be a huge increase. It's a lot of investment for a few extra buffs. But if you get to the point where you want to improve your ground general, Ludwig is better. So this is another one with Zuka. Would probably get the Blood of Ares back because you didn't put too many runestones into him. But there's no reason to have him. How much can you actually ascend him? You can ascend him a little bit. Zuka is for small siege. Yeah, I wouldn't use Zuka for small siege. What I would do, I get the whole having two different siege generals, small siege, big siege. You can have the same general for both, and just have two different presets. At least for this point. So I'm just going to, and you have a better siege generals anyway than Zuka. So we're just gonna get your Blood of Ares back, so you can actually improve on some of your other generals. Like Palace is better than Zuka. So can you actually, and but you already have Patronus. I want to go crazy on which general to use. Okay. Looks good. So let's do this. So what we're going to do is work on your Archer general. Right now you have Electra. And you don't have enough fragments to fully center. But I'm not going to try to invest into a different Archer general, because it looks like you had Edward 3. Like you could go for Edward 3. Edward 3 is a little bit better than Electra, but it's not like it's not a huge improvement. And Edward Teach is better as a siege general. I thought I saw a lot of stuff you had for Edward Teach. Let's take a look at this. So this, honestly, I don't have too many complaints. Like you would still want to fix your refines a little bit, but overall this is fine. Yeah, this is okay. So your Electra is good. As an assistant, we're gonna do Ragnar. I think that's the best assistant you could have. It could be Merlin, but I'm pretty sure either Ragnar or Merlin are good. Let me take a look. So Ragnar. So you're gonna need a spiritual beast on him. Why? So cancel. We'll put a spiritual beast on him once one's available. For now, there are none. But he's one, so you don't want to ascend him. If he's going to be your assistant, you don't want to ascend him. You can't ascend him anyway. You still work on his covenants. Oh, that's what I should have looked at your Merlin, is if you already worked on Merlin's covenants. I think I did look. Let's look at Merlin. If you've already invested in Merlin's covenants, there's no reason to do Ragnar. Why can't I find him? Oh yeah, I dismissed Merlin. I remember now. Okay, so covenants. You don't have a lot of covenant stones, so I'm not going to go through here too much, but that's something to take a look at. Marsh preset. Eventually I'll be able to find the general and not pass him every single time. So Marsh speed. So you need art HP. So I have range bonus, defense, march speed. So you need attack and HP. All right. I swear every single time. Okay, Ragnar moved on me. He was in the center last time. Range HP, speed. So we went attack and HP. Yeah, all these Nordic looking guys. Of course. Uh, and that's the fourth one. Wait, did your Electra have a march size and march speed? I already missed that. Range, range troop defense, march speed. So you don't have march size. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna put march size on him. The range speed book is on the Electra, the main general. This is gonna be the assistant general. I think it is something that a lot of people get. Is I say it's a lie, like the range troop bonus. See how it says it goes up by 25. It's actually just 20, and that's what I call it a lie. Like it's not what Evany says it is. This it still goes up. It still works. Where you'd find a benefit from this though is when attacking archers that don't have the speed book. So the whole benefit of the range troop bonus is for attacking archers that don't have the speed book. Attacking any other troop, it really doesn't make a big difference. So let me just maximize these. Wait. Attack, HP, okay. You have no idea how many times I've messed this up and had to do it over again. All right. So you're gonna want to work on Ragnar's. Actually, you know what? Guess what? We just dismissed your Tamaris. Right? So let's go ahead and open up those runestones and your gems, and we can maximize your Ragnar. Well, I think, a lot of players, if they don't look at guides and stuff like that, they don't realize that they can do the level 1 book trick. I think that's something that they miss out on a lot, is the level 1 book trick. Without that, it's very difficult. And you see how you have, all these treasure boxes, and pretty sure you have probably a lot of scrolls. Usually, I would open up all of these during that I don't know, seasonal event where they release like overpowered generals. Um, I'm trying to navigate through all this. Here we go. Yeah, so we just got a bunch of runestones. All right, so let's do the Ragnar. Specialty. So for all of these, we're just going to master the early ones. These ones you have so many runestones for, so you never really have to use your I forget what these called, lucky favor stones. Same thing with 2. Now, I don't know who released this strategy, but let's say you don't have a lot of the 3rd and 4th runestones. What a lot of people do is they'll go ahead and recycle the general now, and you'll get runestones for the ones that you've used, and you could open those boxes again and get some more 3 and 4. So that is a strategy that some players do use. Alright, so we're going to learn all these as well. Alright, and now for the last one. So you saw that first one took 500 runestones. The second one pretty much took all your runestones. Yeah, so you, you don't have any more of this level 4 runestones. You ran out. So what we're going to do is do this to try to get the lucky favor on your last bit of runestones. And we might dismiss some more generals, get more runestones for your last one, but that's why it's important. And again, you want to use these right here, these lucky favors, for more of your last ones, because see how this is 50? If I used it for if I used it for veteran, for example, it only give me an extra 10. So right now, every time it does the lucky thing, it gives me an extra 50 instead. So you really want to use this for Grandmaster and Genius, especially for the later specialties. But since his first 3 are max, we can actually give him a battle tested. So we're going to give him the battle test. You have 95. Another thing is when you upgrade these battle tested ones. So if we go look at upgrading it's going to cost you a lot of runestones. So only do this if you have a lot of runestones available. If we dismiss some of your other generals, we'll be able to get some more runestones out of them. But right here, now you have a good assistant general. We go take a look at your March preset. Put Ragnar here. I swear to God, I'll never be able to find this guy. I keep on looking at Nar. So, Ragnar, right there. Are you serious? What? Blood restrain? Are you saying that the attack has to be on Electra? I haven't used Electra in so long. So wait, Electra has to have attack on her? Do players with Electra actually... Can someone confirm this? Does Electra have to have the attack? All right. Let me take a quick look at that. That is new to me. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just so it's just she has to have the attack skill book. I think that's what it is. It's one of those weird ones. That's another thing. I'm trying to decode the skills and hoping that will tell me how this whole thing works with what skills work with what skill books, and what generals don't work with which ones. All right, so let's take a look at Electra. Just need to see how she works. Assistant generals. Yeah, if X-Wing was here, I'd just have him give me his spreadsheet real fast. He actually has a really good spreadsheet. I just don't have access to it right now on this computer. Ground generals. Oh, so I'll just show what I'm looking at. As Ebony Wiki has some good ones. Oh, there you are. With Electra, when it comes to her attack skill book, does it have to be on Electra? Range generals. So Electra, yes. If the main is Electra, it has to be on her. That just shows that how little I use Electra. So we need to give Electra the attack skill book. Not a big deal. Yeah, I'm looking at I'm looking at the files for these skills. You find some interesting things. Like there's some skills that don't work exactly how they say they do, that's a whole nother topic. But trying to see where in the game files it says, what I figure is each one of these have a certain code. Like they give you a certain kind of buff, and you can't repeat that code a certain amount of times. I don't know if that's how it goes, but I've been looking into that. That's something that I was investigating. Why did I put attack on the assistant? Well, that was because um, the player already had these 3 skill books on the main, so I just put the attack on the assistant. I didn't realize that Electra required attack on the main, so we're going to put attack on the main and fix the assistant. Usually I put attack, defense, and HP on the main. The only reason I didn't is because this one already had a lot of these skill books already on them. Took out the march speed. Okay, so great. So now I'm just gonna put march speed on the assistant, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, hopefully, once I decode the files a little bit more, hopefully it's gonna be easy to determine what generals are compatible with what skill books. I could pull up the files and kind of show you kind of the hints and clues that I got from it, but it's not conclusive yet. Well, also Ebony changes them too. That's what Ebony did with me with Miu Ying or whatever her name is. I invested heavily into this siege general, 5-starred her, put an attack skill book on her, and then Ebony said, "Oh, whoops, my bad. She can't have attack skill book," and took it off. I was like, "What the hell? You mean I just invested so heavily into this general, and you just took off my skill book? And what are you gonna put on a siege general at that point? No, might as well just put ground speed on it." Uh, so what we're gonna put mount march speed, right? Please. march size, of course. There you go. Let's see here. Somebody made a good skill book video recently. I think it was I forgot his name. Now I have to take a look at his name. But if you have a newer player starting out, this skill book guide is pretty good for them. If I can find it, count. Notifications. Oh, Ebony Academy. Yeah, if you see Ebony Academy's videos, he makes some decent spreadsheet videos that are quite useful. Aka's been sick lately. He hope he's feeling better, but Aka said that he's recovering from a sickness. I don't know what it is, but Ebony Academy made it. It's a video for more like beginners on the skill books, like how to do what I'm doing, what skill books are good, what are not, like what they're useful for. I think it's a good beginners video for because a lot of players don't know how to do this in a serious manner. All right, now let's take a look at this. Ragnar should all be good. Perfect. Merlin and archers are Ragnar are basically the same, with the exception of Ragnar is defense, Merlin's HP. Wouldn't that make Merlin the better choice? Merlin, I didn't really go through and see which one's the better choice in terms of Merlin and Ragnar, to be honest. I just went with Ragnar because she already had some of the specialty invested, and we already dumped Merlin. Merlin also probably pretty good on the Covenant. I think overall they're going to be relatively the same. The thing that Ragnar might have against Merlin is if she does get the skin for Ragnar in a future event, it will apply as the assistant. So she'll get those extra buffs and debuffs. But Merlin might have been the better choice. I didn't actually go through and check out. I mean, if he is the better choice, it'd be by like maybe 20%. You know what? Fine. I'll look. You brought it up. We're going to look at it. And if you send me X-Wing, if you send me your spreadsheets on assistance and stuff like that, I could use that instead. But for right now, I have to use Ebony TKR on this. If you send it to me in Discord. So what we're going to do is look at assistant generals. So Ebony TKR, best ranged PvP assistant. So let's take a look at this. So we're going to look at basic skills, specials, and covenant for March and Rally. So this one right here. And so Ragnar with Spiritual Beast, Merlin, and then okay, so let's take a look at this. Again, I hate how this is set up. So again, I just press F12. If you weren't here earlier, you just press F12 on this page. You go to this part that says 700 picks. You uncheck it, you press F12, and now you can actually read this. Ragnar is the top assistant for Electra Main. So this is without skin, so it's not with the skin. So we're going to take a look at that and compare it to Merlin. So Merlin has 10% less attack, 15% less defense. Looks like it's the same HP and less march size. So it does look like Ragnar is the better choice. Uh, I don't know where this where the HP came from. I mean, I don't know which one of these are going to be basic and march dependent, but it does look like Ragnar is the best. Like X-Wing is saying for Electra. Let's see. I think. Oh, look at that. X-Wing did send me a spreadsheets. What a pal. It's an Excel file. Oh, no. Not on this computer. Okay, I have to, I have to look at that later. This computer is going to break over the programs I already have running. I'm not going to be able to open up Excel. But yeah, there you go. So, what I'm probably going to do, how many march size speed ups do you have? It's not speed ups, but march size capacities. One. One. Okay. So, I'm just going to make, I'm going to make your preset with a junior march because I do not think that you're going to be using this in Battlefield. Uh, if you had 100, sure, but since you do not have senior, I'm just going to do junior. Let's go ahead and just set up your presets for this one. Okay, so again, we're going to put Ragnar in here. Hold on. Discord. Oh, actually, she did send me her buffs. Okay. Well, I'll take a look at that later. Okay, so let's set this up. So, if this is going to be a solo, you're probably going to send your subsidies anyway. You get them from attacking the. And you get them from the world boss. You get them from some other events. You get them from Battlefield. So, let's take a look at what you have here. So, to be honest, I'm just going to set this up with Junior. Use Junior for a while until you have your senior ones built up. Senior march size. Because you're not going to be able to use senior march size consistently. So we're just going to set this all up for Junior. Alright, so with your archers, you have even layers. Tier 13s and okay. What do we want to do with your guards? I don't do this very often with. Oh wow, that's cool. I'm never on the PC client, so it's always kind of weird. So let's just do something pretty easy to just follow. There we go. Do you want siege with your archers? I don't think so. You don't want a lot of siege. And we'll put this. What is your capacity? 2 million. So these are just really rough numbers, guys. I'm not don't like quote these numbers as fact for this, please. This is just kind of some rough numbers that I'm throwing out here. What you might see is I'm doing a little bit more thicker on the ground. This is in case she does an archer attack on somebody else's march. Having the ground survive longer and also kill the enemy layers is going to help her out with that certain incident. And it's also going to just keep them available to be layers. So this one I'm going to have 1,000,000 for now, and we'll change this once we're done with everything else. Okay, so 10,000, 1,000. And probably just go 10,000 here. Actually, can do 50K. So, just to make it easy, I'm just going to do 1,000 for the rest. Thicker layers are good for taking out enemy troops. But really your march capacity is not built for it, so we could probably go through this a little bit later. So here's the thing with layers. Small layers are more economical if you're about to attack a keep. Like you're joining a rally. The enemy keep has no layers. Okay, so we're trying to keep this in fact. The enemy in mind, the enemy has no layers. And you're doing a rally. Small layers are going to be better economically. However, if you're reinforcing, if you're joining a rally and the enemy does have reinforcements, or if you're soloing someone else's march inside of a temple, you want thicker layers. George, you're a genius. Oh my god. Well, I'm on the PC client. I never play it, so it's such a genius right here. Who would have thought I would have learned something here? Oh, I maxed out. Okay. Sure. These are small troops anyway. Oh, why is it not doing 1,000 anymore? Control C. There we go. All your troops. The only tab would work too. Yeah. Does it? I'm gonna try it. It doesn't. Okay. You had me try it. You got me. Really, I'm only using the PC client for the stream. It looks better on stream. And also, it's getting this player some rewards for using the PC client. Ebony basically gives you rewards for installing spyware on your computer. So, that's nice of them. So what I'm going to do is go back and I'm just going to basically add more to all of her archers. The reason for this is the Archer March. It has the Archer General, and where you have more archers, this is going to help you take out layers. Again, this is going to be better for somebody that has... how many more troops do we have? We have quite a bit, so we're going to put 50k. Yeah, vertical mode is a pain. So we're just going to send more archers. And the idea of this is it's going to help take out layers. And if she uses this march as reinforcements, these reinforcements are going to take out layers. Even though they seem like they're small, like these are weak archers, these tier 5 archers can kill some players tier 2 mounted, for instance, right? it's still taking out layers, and that's what's important about this. And they don't give away that many points. The enemy's gonna have to come all the way down here to kill these, so it's good to have some down here. Especially if you have flat refines on your gear. Flat refines on your gear, even on attacking, I get it, a lot of players don't do it, but what it's going to do is it's going to make your lower tiers a bit stronger, and it can considerably help out. It's going to make you less negative on your attacks. So let's take a look at what her big tiers are again. I put 100k tier 14. So let's see here, 100k tier 14, 800k tier 13. That, I might have went a little bit too high on that one, but we'll just put the rest in tier 12s. I mean, this is good for now. Honestly, the reason I don't put too many on the top tiers, so let's say you rally a big player, right? And this big player has a ton of tier 11, tier 12 siege, or they have a lot of tier 9, tier 10 siege. Those siege are going to be attacking those top tier archers and could completely wipe out your top tier archers before your archers ever even get to the mounted troops. So I put enough so that they might still do damage. They'll survive some smaller siege attacks. But I usually put a lot of my troops into the tier 12s because, sure, you might lose the rally, but you won't be as negative in points, if that makes sense. Check out a lot of rallies, and you'll see that the tier 15s, or tier 14s die completely, or they don't get that many kills, and it's because siege is killing them, which is why a lot of upper end players, they take out the siege first. All flat refines are mixed flats. To be honest, I just go with the first gold I get. If it's a gold flat, I keep the gold flat. If it's a gold percent, I keep the gold percent. I'm not super picky. It's a lot easier to adjust your troops to your refines than it is to adjust your refines to your troops, if that makes sense. Okay, so that was your archer. Oh, geez. So, do you think it's good to add some ground if you attack with a cavalry march? Yes. So, this is something that me and Akka were talking about. We were thinking about making a video together where we both kind of explain. Let me get rid of this. Where we both kind of explain layers. So here's something to think about whenever you make layers for your troops. What are your layers doing? You really have to think, what are these layers doing? Most people think it's protective layers, and that is the big thing that they're doing, is protecting your main troops. Right? Like, you're thinking, okay, and before those archers can kill my archers, they're going to attack the protective layers of mounted troops, the cavalries, right? They're going to attack those first. Yes, protective troops do that. That's a great thing that they do. The other aspect that they have a role in is they take out the enemy's protective troops. So you have to think, comparing it to attacking, if you attack some player's keep, and I'm saying like a big player keep, like let's say they are 20 billion power. I try to think about it as each layer that they have is just infinite. I'm not trying to think, okay, sure, they might have 5 or 10 million troops. It's just whatever troops they have will wipe out any layer in one hit. So it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 troops or 10,000 troop layers or 10 troop layers at that point. Those, they're going to wipe out that in one hit. So you want your troops to survive counterattack. That's it. You just want them to survive counterattack. So you don't have to have big layers in that case, because they're going to die anyway. it's going to be a waste. If your layers are 100,000, it's just giving them 100,000 troops to kill every layer in one shot. But if you're attacking a temple, if you're attacking a building, if you're attacking some player's march, if you're reinforcing somebody, now your layers are not only protecting, but they are attacking. So if you take it, you're asking, would ground troops work for a cavalry march? What's happening is if you send your cavalry march into a building and somebody attacks it with archers, because it's a cavalry march, it's a mounted march, you want your archers to kill mounted. What's going to happen is if you send extra ground, those ground troops are going to kill the archer troops' protective layers. Those ground troops are going to attack all the ground layers and take them out. The siege that you have as your protective layers, those are also going to attack some ground layers as well. Take those out. So that will allow, like, after the, let's say, 2 turns, their ground layers are going to be gone. Their mounted layers are going to be gone. And that's going to expose their archers towards your mounted. And even though archers have that extra 20%, so like when we look at, where's your archers at? Over here. Okay. So even though archers have this extra 20% damage towards mounted troops, and mounted troops do 20% less damage to them, they have way weaker stats. I mean, you look at these stats, you compare this to a mounted troop. So this is a tier 13. It's 36,000 HP, 14 attack. Let's take a look at mounted. A view. Yeah, it's considerably higher, right? So just based on these stats alone, the mounted troops are going to kill those cavalries, and that's what the having those additional ground troops are going to do for your mounted march. That's why you want to have them. If you have small layers, your layers are going to die first. So you want your layers to be stronger. That's also why instead of having a ground troop speedbook or a mounted troop speedbook, take take ground attack instead, or ground HP, so that your layers survive these attacks. Another thing for you, Metal Goddess, is you probably should ease up on building these big troops. I see they're making tier 13s. Honestly, for now, I'd focus on tier 12s and tier 1s. You have a lot of other troops. For archers, though... No, not speed up. For archers, stop making tier 14s. Just stop. No more tier 14s. If you're going to make big troops, make tier 13s or tier 11s. Don't make you more tier 14s for now. Bring up your tier 13s and tier 11s. They're going to help you out more than the tier 14s. Like if you're going to rally somebody, if the enemy has tier 14 siege, they're going to attack your tier 14 siege. So it's better just to have that as a layer, a protective layer, and put a lot of your focus on tier 13s or tier 11s. For now, anyway. That's my idea. And make more tier 11s. So you see how like you're even among all these? A lot of people want to do, when you say small siege is tier 11s. That's what small siege is. So this, theoretically, with what you have, this should be at 10 million, where you should probably have less tier 12s, less tier 14s, less tier 10s, and tier 9s are okay. But a lot of these other ones, these are good for taking out layers, but at least you don't have a ton of tier 4s. That's a good bit. Alright, so your assistant is Pyrus. Okay, that's good. You didn't invest into your assistant. You have Frigg and Alessandra. Did you invest in Alessandra? You have a little bit, so we could use Alessandra. Let's look at Frigg. I don't think you invested in Frigg. Okay, you have not invested in Frigg. Do you have any other ground generals that could compete as an assistant? Okay, taking a look at this. I mean, you do have Ludwig, but Ludwig would be your main, not your assistant. Okay, so it looks like... Wait, you didn't invest in this guy, did you? Okay, good. It looks like it's going to be Frigg or Alessandra. So, let's look at which one is better. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Frigg, but... wait, did she have Suchit? Did I miss that? Or how do you say his name? Sukit? Suchit? Oh, he does. I didn't see that. Okay, let's see, Suchit, or Frigg. Or Alessandra. Sorry, Alessandra. I can't even say her name. I messed it up. Where'd she go? The only reason I might go with Alessandra is just because she already invested in a little bit into these. But if Sucha is way better, then we'll probably just go with Sucha because he does have a covenant. Same with Frigg. So, he's French, so Suchet. Thanks. Thanks, man. I would be using your your spreadsheets, but I do not have Excel on this computer, and I think it would break my computer right now. It's screaming. I might put the Ebony clients on one of my other laptops that are probably a bit better for this. So, best assistant ground PvP. Again, what I do is I look at right here, march and rally. A thing to consider is ground troops often are used as reinforcements, so definitely take a look at this as well. So we might consider that. Frigg is going to be really good on that as well. What is this? Basic skills plus covenant. I want the list. Oh my god. Just give me the list. I don't want... I can just go up from here, right? Great. Sucha has more attack. Frigg has more total buffs. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Again, F12. I don't know why he just doesn't fix his website. Okay. And I didn't see if you had... Oh, actually, I think you do have Tortilla. I dismissed him because you just ascended him and didn't do anything with him. So let's take a look at all three of these. I don't know if Tortilla works with Elise, though, so we'd have to check that out as well. So you don't have the skin for Suchet. Why does it say no covenant? Did he not do the covenant? You have to be all weird. Okay, so Alessandra is 80, 20, 88. Slightly better on the march size. So it does look like Frigg is... Yeah, so right now we're going to not even go with Alessandra. We're going to go at least with Frigg. So Alessandra's out. So Tortilla right here. we're gonna take a look at him. So I don't know if Tortilla works with Elise. Uh, he looks like he is. That's 20. I mean, to be fair, we're splitting hairs at this point. They're pretty much the same. But Frigg can't use the attack skill book. That's that's a big deal. Except I think Frigg's better as for reinforcements, and she has this all type defense all type attack minus 10%, which I think is actually pretty good. Now Suchet, this is saying no covenant. It's like plus skin, so um, I don't know what his covenant does. That's the problem. Okay, so Tortilla is not compatible with Lee. So it really looks like we're going to go with Frigg or Suchet. Suchet has more attack, but he is a little bit lackluster. So, you know, I think I'm going to go with Frigg. Uh, the issue is the skill book. Let's look at what's up, Ginger Beard Man. Yeah, let's see how they compare with reinforcing. So let's scroll down here to the bottom. This is what's fun about games. You get to look at spreadsheets and charts and determine which is the most efficient for your buffs. So we're looking at Frigg or Suchet. Okay, so Frigg is just better. Okay. Not much, just finished Battlefield. Sorry I missed the beginning, bud. Honestly, so we're just fixing somebody's account. And trying to just explain some of the things I think a lot of players make mistakes on. So for Alessandra, we're going to go ahead and just dismiss her to get... Wait, you put Blood of Ares in her? You did. We're just going to get the Blood of Ares back. To me, I think that's more... That's going to be better. Okay, and we're going to use Frigg. I think Suchet is good. But Frigg is just going to be better for reinforcing others, which I think that's a large part of what people do with ground. I feel like with my ground troops, more than ground rallies, it's reinforcing people when they have an archer attack on them. So that's something to really take into consideration when you're doing this. Wait. Medates. Wait, you have Medates as well? I don't know how to say his name. I must have missed that. Oh, so you have this guy. Oh. He... Yeah, I guess we'd go with him. I didn't notice you had him. Yeah, we'll just go with him. He's going to be better. I mean, he's a little bit smaller march capacity, but for this, I think we'll just go with Medates. So did I dismiss him? Is that where he's at right now? Yeah, like I said, make sure it's not. Okay, sorry, I forgot who I dismissed. You had so many generals I was trying to get back. So let's take a look at him. Hopefully we'll be able to find him in this mess. No, that's tortilla. Oh god. I'll never be able to find him. I swear it's never gonna happen. See, Medot Mil. How do you say this name? I'm gonna look it up. I feel like I'm gonna sound like an idiot trying to pronounce all these people's names. It's look, I'm good at math, but when it comes to actual English, I'm terrible. Uh, Never gonna find him. He is. He's dead to me. Is he? He's open. Am I just missing him? Yeah, it's funny because every time somebody, oh, I forgot what he is. Siege attack. So we might do him for your siege. Um. Oh, there he is. God, he's so well hidden. Okay, so we'll just put him as your assistant. All right, let me look at these comments. You mentioned sending some thicker layer ground. So you mentioned sending some thicker ground layers with mounted attacks. What layers would you buff with ground attack? Uh, okay, so first of all, one thing to look at is look at your general that you're using. Like a lot of these generals, they buff ground and mounted. Well, maybe not him, but a lot of them will say ground and mounted, ground and mounted. Uh, they might buff some other kind of general. That's one thing to kind of take in consideration when you're doing these layers. But with the ground troops, I would send more mounted. Now, the whole purpose isn't to. Um, you could also send more archers. Either way, the what you're trying to do is, if someone is sending an attack at you, you want to take out their layers. So, if you are sending your ground attack to kill somebody's archer march, somebody put an archer march inside of a building and you want to kill it with your ground, having some extra troops to kill their layers is going to help. You could use siege, you could use archers, even mounted would be fine in a way. But the other thing to take in consideration is when someone's trying to attack you. If someone's trying to attack you and it's your ground versus their ground, um, that's honestly at that point it seems like whoever has the best ground buffs are going to win. So if it's ground versus ground, it's whoever has the best ground buffs. Whoever has the most higher tier as well in the larger march. Because the ground are just going to attack the ground. Protective layers aren't going to do much. Taking out their layers are not going to do much. Since it's a ground march, their ground are probably going to be stronger than their mounted towards your ground troops. So having more mounted troops is not going to help. So ground versus ground, it's all about buffs, tiers, and march size. If it's your ground versus mounted, if it's ground versus archers, again, I think mounted or archers are going to be good to have. But I would really say when you're doing this, take a look at your buffs, right? So, Civ Gear, it buffs multiple different troops. Your generals buff multiple different troops. Use thicker layers on the troops that you have better buffs on, and it'll probably help you overall. Also, remember that it's not just going march against march when you're reinforcing somebody. So, when you're reinforcing somebody, you also want to take out the layers of the rally that's coming at you. If it's an archer rally, you want to take out those mounted layers. You want to take out those ground layers so that you can get to those archers and take them out. Same thing with like siege, right? When there's a siege rally, you have two strategies. Either you're going to try to out siege them, so you're going to have stronger siege than the enemy, or you're going to have to take out their layers so fast that the mounted troops can take out the siege. So those are the strategies that you have to go by. Saying whichever one is the best, it really depends on a lot of factors. All right. So let's get back to this. So we're going to change this out, this guy out with a different assistant. So let's make sure that they are even compatible. It always changes on me. Where'd he go? There he is. Okay, so let's see what... Oh, I'm thinking with him. Yeah, he's open. Milt and Pyrus may be best. Frigg doesn't allow a text skill book. Yeah. The reason why we're not going with some of the other ones is Matides. I really have to look at how to say his name. He just has superior buffs, and he's going to be good for reinforcing. So, as an assistant general, he's great. Especially, again, since ground marches are used for reinforcing a lot. What general is the best to pair with Queen Boudica as the wall general? So Samson, I kind of went over this in the beginning of the stream, but one, it depends on what generals you have in your keep, but the best in terms of raw like buffs is going to be Brock. He's going to have the best buffs as an assistant general. Takanaka, I think that's how you say his name, is going to be the best for siege, for example. Melisande is also going to be really good for siege. So it really depends on what generals you're trying to buff. And you may eventually want to upgrade your Boudica to, Ryan the Lionheart. I mean, that's not that serious. It's not going to be a huge difference, but I think people were given a disservice by saying Boudica is the best for tier 1 traps, because yes, those buffs do help those tier 1s, but they really are lackluster for the rest of your troops. Do you think if I have really high debuff against range, my cavalry perform well? So this is a strategy I have thought of. Like, there's a lot of theoretically good defense strategies you could do. Let's say you have a ton of calves. You're just not going to be able to ghost your calves, and an archer attack would just destroy you. It is theoretically, and I have not tested this, so it's not like something that I can say works. Like, I'd have to do the math in order to really see if this is good, but it is theoretically possible to have a decent defense by buffing your mounted troops, by giving them all mounted HP buffs, defenses, having a mounted general on your wall, and debuffing archers, and having that being your entire strategy. Because if somebody hits you with siege, your mounted do well. If somebody hits you with mounted, your mounted will still do well. Like, just debuffing archer attack to the point that they grow muscles. Doing that, I think, will do quite well for you. Also, you might want to put in a lot of like tier 9, tier 10 siege. So that's my idea on that. That could work. I don't know anybody that's going with that strategy. Uh, it would it'd be impressive though. So let's work on this. So right now on her Melisande, she has ground troop attack, defense, HP. Perfect. Yeah, that's great. So it'll make this guy a lot easier to fix. Derek, you want jokes? I don't know if we can keep these PG. Hey, my soul, there's like a slight delay when you send a chat. I don't see it until I don't know, maybe 2 minutes later. So, um, probably. So, what you guys probably don't know is I was in the military. Uh, we used to tell jokes in there. So, probably the probably the joke that I thought was really funny that one of my friends told me was he said, "What's the difference?" Oh, what was it? Oh, he's like, "What did the one tampon say to the other tampon?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Nothing. They're both stuck up bitches." And I was like, "That's hilarious." I thought that was hilarious to me. Uh, there's your joke. So Ginger Beard Man says, "I find stronger to have a great range debuff and boost ground attack to kill simultaneously." So, uh, yeah, having strong ground will take out the archers quickly. You could also just have more ground troops. That's another thing. Like, that's another thing about defense. You have to think you can make so many troops. It makes up for your. It makes up for your lack of attack. So let's get this going. Let's fix this guy real fast. So where'd he go? There we go. So march size, march speed. Okay, thoughts on using range attack, range bonus on a. So I'm gonna put range attack on the assistant. Oh, the range bonus. Hold on. No, I'm gonna put range attack. The whole idea is hopefully it helps take out the mounted a little bit easier. Cancel. What am I doing? Oh yeah, range attack. Yeah, hopefully it takes out mounted a little bit better. Layers anyway. That's the idea about it. Until they fix the speed books, or if you have a debuff, you might want to use a debuff book. But for now, actually, yeah, I'm fine with that. Chit chat, dum dum. Yeah. Hey, my soul. If you have a joke, please share it. Thanks, man. Do this tongue twister, Derek. I don't know if you could tell. I have a speech impediment. Tongue twisters do not do well for me. All my years in elementary school going to a speech therapist has not helped. Chip, Chapak, Dum Dum. Chip, Chapak, Dum Dum. Is that how you say it? Okay. And march speed. Okay, I saw some mixed cavalry and ground preset. Do you think it will perform better than a full cavalry march? So that's it. It depends on what you're attacking. That's what like I think a lot of people miss out on it is it really depends on what what you're attacking. Um, oh man, my soul, you're gonna get me to say something terrible. So the mixed cavalry ground preset that's gonna be good if you're attacking other players like marches. Like it could be really good for that. But for full cavalry, I would add thicker ground layers, but I wouldn't go half ground, half mounted. I don't think that would work. Check the service score? Sure. I can do that in a second. Um, Save preset for now. Yeah, you guys are winning. Wait, I thought you have an assistant. I thought you have an alt. Why are we doing this? And again, if you guys missed it earlier, a nice uh a nice trick I do with the champions is instead of waiting a minute, you just go to you just exit the city and you come back and you don't have to wait the full minute again. Jesus, if I actually can figure out how to play this PC version. If you're stronger than everyone and holding a building is good, your running rallies makes you weaker. Yes, I see. You're talking about the thicker layers. Yes, exactly. Uh, the only exception is maybe if the player has a lot of reinforcements. Because remember, when you're attacking a player, you're always going to attack their highest tier troops. Generally, first, you're going to attack the highest tier first. So it's a little bit different because if you're reinforcing a player, that means your troops are going to be attacking their troops, and you're gonna get through a lot of their protective layers. Like if somebody's sending a mounted rally at you, only their mounted troops are going to be really strong. All the other troops are just protective layers. So having thick protective layers, well, thicker layers on your troops are going to allow you to take out those protective layers a lot faster. And I think that's really what it comes down to. And that's why players, they'll see different things that are better, right? They'll say thicker layers are better, smaller layers are better. It depends on what you're attacking. It depends on what the other enemy has. It depends on your layers. Um, so I don't think you're going to be doing too much with your um, ground general right now. I mean, you did say you do reinforcements. We'll go ahead and do some specialties on your ground general. You'll so you'll laugh if you let the Ideal land load. I'm not vain. Okay. We'll take a look at the ideal land. But some things, when I went through your account, I don't know if you know this. I just wanted to point out some things. Assistant generals, they don't benefit from gear. They don't benefit from ascensions. And the last thing is just be really careful on ascending a general and giving them runestones if you're not sure you're going to be using them. Right. Now, Gingerbread Man, you got it. Changing the layers on whether you're raining, solo attacking, or rallying is what matters. And that's the thing. Like, do you have a lot of presets where you can have, oh, hey, this is my preset for reinforcing. This is my preset for starting rally or something like that. It all depends. Uh, where is this guy? Every single time. Experience. This is really the crime. I don't have enough general XP to bring this guy to level 25. I can't even give him specialties. So this is something that you're going to have to do on your own. Attack some people in battlefield, raise this guy to 25, and then you give him specialties. I won't be able to do that right now. Actually, I remember you had quite a bit of Civ gear. Let's take a look at what Civ gear you have. So ground mounted. That's decent. Wait, you have a bourbon helmet. Oh, it's you have the. I see. You also have the Plantogen helmet. That's why you're not using the bourbon helmet. Yes, we do need more presets. I think this is good for archers, but you already have your archer ones. Hand Dynasty. Thebes, Freedom. See, I mean, you have some of the Civ gear. We just don't need it right now. That's the sad thing about it. Oh yeah, and there's your Rorik helmet. So these other Civ gear, they're gonna be a little bit better once you start getting the sets. So right, like having 4 pieces of bourbon is not gonna help you if you're not the rally setter. Once you have all 6, then I'd say use all 6. But since you have the Plantogen one, and I'm pretty sure Plantogen is better. Yeah, Plantogen is better as a mounted. You continue using Plantogen. All right. Let's see. We did cover. We went. We did the Monarch. Oh yeah. So another thing, Metal Goddess, you had to have a ton of resources in order to get to 7 billion power. You could have been a K40 by now. In fact, I bet you could have been a K41 by now. But right now you're a K39. You need to upgrade your academy, right? It's a K38 academy. Upgrading it allows you to get more of these buffs that are all dark. And buffs are going to be important in the point trading. So make this your next priority. More than troops. For troops, just make tier 1s. You have plenty of troops, just start making tier 1s. With exception of siege, just make tier 11s. That way you can kind of save up your resources, build your K40, build your K39, and start working on buffs. Buffs are what you're lacking. You'll also be able to upgrade your victory column. See, you could upgrade your victory column right now if you had the resources. Let's see, how many... Yeah, you're off on the resources. So that's what you really need to spend your resources on, not troops. You have plenty of troops. You have too many troops right now for your size. You need to spend your resources on your buffs. what is your civ treasure? So how close are you? Okay, so you have them all upgraded. Wait. Um, your general hall? How's your general hall looking? You have all your ones? Good. Damn, your general hall looks better than mine. Okay. And let's look at Blazons. Okay. In rally, marching, ground. Okay, it looks like, I mean, other than the monster one, but at least the majority of them are PvP. I'm just kind of browsing through them a little bit. You can still upgrade these. Oh, what is this? What is... Ew, brother, what's that? Uh, oh no. Oh no. Oh no, okay. We'll have to fix that. Okay. Yeah, let me look at the comments. Um, DD, Gingerbread Man, DD, question though. Have you tested this? Dragons give general stat increase. Does that still count? Yes. Um, yes, it does count. I think. I'm fairly certain it does. You know, with me testing, it's difficult to test all your buffs because Ebony doesn't really tell you all your buffs, so they're off by a little bit. That's why in the monster calculator I made it so you had to attack a monster in order to figure out what your buffs are. Oh, assistants. No, assistants don't matter. No, assistants don't matter. Sorry, I missed that part. The cultivation, the that doesn't matter on your assistants. Dragons on your assistants don't matter. None of that matters. Unless they have a skill that requires to have a dragon or requires to have a spiritual beast. Okay, so here's the problem. You have these monster HP, like you have these monster ones on your mounted. This is only going to apply for monster. It's giving you mounted HP on monster. It's not going to help you. So we're going to change that to a PvP. Something to take into account. Looking at all these. This, see how this set? This set is for defending. This set's for attacking. This set's for attacking. This set's for attacking. If you are a huge player and you're not getting bullied, you're not getting attacked a lot, I say go for the attacking. But if you're not the big player, if you are going to be the one that's getting rallied, go for the defensive Blazons. Because the defensive Blazons are going to give you great debuffs. Great debuffs. So, that's my opinion on that. If at all possible, this is what I'd say. If you're a medium coiner or a low coiner, what you should be going after for is the defensive sets with as many just basic ground troop attack, ground troop HP or whatever. Just like none of this rally stuff. Try to get as many of the just overall universal, this is your buff. Because these troops are going to be attacked. These troops are going to be in rallies. It's just easier because there's no one that goes through a battlefield and swaps these from defensive to offensive. Um, Ginger Beard Man, can you be more specific? I'm missing something. You're saying, what about the plus 150? What are you getting at with you're gonna have to be more specific. I'm kind of lost on what you're asking. So we're just gonna fix this mounted for now. Do you have? Okay, you have quite a bit. Probably have a ton of Blazons too. Okay, I'm not gonna go through them all. What I will do is I'll just go through your Blazons and go through it that way. Dragons give general attribute increases. Yes, those do not help your assistant. They those attribute increases will only help your main general. As far as I know, like I haven't really tested that. That's something that I've seen from reliable sources that it only works on your main general. Where can I find it? If you've seen something different, Gingerbeard Man, if you've seen it work or you think it does, let me know and I will test it. Like if like a lot of times players will say, "Hey, I've seen this. It's a little different." Like for example, uh, Red Ebony made a video about general buffs, right? And one of the things that he mentioned is, well, I was actually looking to see if you have this, but you already opened them all up, so okay. Um, One of the things he said was that, uh, what's her name? Edun, for example, won't work when reinforcing somebody, and that's because they scouted somebody, they saw that the buffs did not apply, and they assumed, hey, that means that they don't work. Which I think is a good assumption. I think that's a fair assumption. You saw that the buffs did not increase with Edun reinforcing somebody. So I think that was a fair conclusion that Red Ebony had. Some players tested this, and just to see if it changes how many times that troops get damaged, right? And they said, no, Edun's making a difference. So I tested it, and Edun definitely does make a difference when reinforcing uh, keeps. But you don't see that. You don't see those stats when you scout. So it seems like it's a bug within Evney, but that is something that I will test if players are seeing something counter to what what most players think. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, right. Edon and Freya. I think I Red Ebony. I think he does a great job. And I contacted him. I told him, hey, I tested this. I peer checked it. It peer reviewed it basically, and I was like, it does. They do help with reinforcing, but it seems like Evney made a. Believe it or not, there's like a visual bug in Evney. This great game that has not in beta version anymore that doesn't show the buffs when scouting. So let's take a look at this. We're going to look at all the troops, blazing types. Sure, we'll look at all of them. Buffs. Yes, we'll take a look at that. Effective condition. I'm just going to say overall. I'm just going to click on that. Let's see what... Oh my god. Wait, why didn't it work? What's going on? Oh, do you know what it is? 2 more. There we go. Continue. There we go. So let's just lock these. All these are going to be good to have. Okay, and I'm just gonna change the effective condition to attacking as well. Confirm. Okay. So, yeah, that way we could fix these as well. Yeah, if you guys see something that's a bit odd, I'll generally try to test it out. I have quite a few alts. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out the troop order in which troops attack. It's some kind of pattern, but it is very difficult to figure out all the different factors and how different factors affect that pattern. So here's the thing: like, if you're attacking somebody, your tier twos, tier fives, tier sevens, one of them may attack first. To determine which ones attack first, it seems like you'll have to determine how many different types of layers are inside that battle, which is going to be completely stupid. Like, nobody's going to be able to do that during rallies. They're not going to say, okay, well, the enemy has uh, 80 different layers inside their account, inside their keep. Our rally has 156. Nobody's going to be able to do that. So, what this will help determine, though, is if we do make a simulation, it will help us with that simulation be more accurate, basically. There might be some kind of strategy towards it, but for right now, it looks like it is something that's completely out of the player's control on what troops attack first. Alright, let's go back to your Blazons and take a look at this. Mounted troop. Of course. Of course that wasn't the one. How about this one? Change. Did we get a start? Oh, we did. Great. Upgrade. Look at that. Marching mounted HP. This is beautiful. So what I'm going to do right now is change this one that you had before. I'm gonna toss it. There's no reason to keep it. So upgrade. Oh crap. I forgot there's one other thing I have to do. I have to save this. Save. I hope this is your first one. Do you have it on others? No. Okay, good. So now we're going to upgrade, and I'm going to just kind of use that level 15 that you had. There it is. And we get train capacity. Tough. Anyway. Still better than the other one, so let's uncheck this one. This is actually decent buffs. Like, this is kind of sad. Hopefully we can get a better one. In rally. So with mounted troops, I think in rally is fine because rarely do you attack somebody solo with mounted. Usually it's going to be a rally, whether it is a monster or You know, something like that. Like, you rarely are you actually going to solo people. Alright, that's about all you have right there. That might be your only PvP one. Marching. So we're going to do these two. Alright, let's try this one. Yeah, I'm not going to do all the Blazons. I'm just going to kind of walking through, do an example of some Blazons I am going to do, just to kind of show my way of thinking about this. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so we're going to toss the old one. So we're going to save this again. Save. Upgrade. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all the Blazons on this account, but just kind of give an idea of what I do going through this and kind of dealing with it. I have 13 other accounts that I take care of, so god damn it, it's troop load. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I mean, now you're at least getting the extra attack, defense, and HP. But really, I don't. It doesn't really matter what account you are. I do think that for your mounted, you should only go for these honor ones. I know people like to attack monsters, but really, if you just maximize honor, you'll have a PvP set, and that PvP set's still quite valuable against monsters. So I don't think you get a lot from doing any of the monster blazons. For siege, so see how this says when attacking, and then this one right here says attacking, right? So to be honest, I think mine I have it as like defending, and attacking, because I don't need my defending siege to have, the buffs. I thought it might be better to debuff the enemy's attack. So mine's set up a little bit different for my siege because I set everything up as defensive. Uh, that's something that you'd have to work with on your own to go through these and change them to defensive if you want to have better debuffs for your defensive keep. Again, when you get to higher stages of the game, the debuffs for attacking really matter on the rally setters. A lot of people don't do solos unless it is your solo march for somebody else's solo march, like in a temple or something like that. Let's see. We looked at civ gear, generals, troops. Again, one thing to note for troops, march troop details. So right now, if I was to rally you, like you're a 7 billion player, I'm my account is 4.5 billion, but my team would probably easily zero you. The first thing that we'd do is I'd look at your buffs. Your siege buffs are probably lackluster, so we would do siege attacks. Tier 11 siege attacks. The tier 11s would take out your tier 14s. Once your tier 14s are done, if you have some tier 13s left, we'd start using big siege. But basically, once your tier 14s are down, we'll start taking out the rest of your siege. Once your siege is gone, then we'll do archers to take out your massive amount of calves. Once we get down to your tier 1s, though, I probably would go back to doing siege. Depending on how much flat HP you have for your calves. If you don't have a lot of flat HP refines, then I'd probably just take out the rest of your calves. But We might just take out your archers and then finish you off with mounted. I'm just I'm just saying that this is, if somebody was to scout you, this is probably the way that they're going to think in terms of what to do about you. Like, if all your siege is done, I might siege you a few times just to get rid of your high tier archers, and then finish you off with a mounted march. Good luck, not a siege rally. Let's see here. That's a problem I had. I have a very high siege attack debuff, but not HP or defense. So siege attack debuff is really easy to have. Like, siege attack debuff is one of the easiest debuffs to have. But that goes both ways. That means other players can debuff your siege attack pretty easily too. The idea is we're taking out your siege. Once your siege is taken out, then they can't help against archer attacks. It makes it so archer attacks are much more effective against your mounted. And once your mounted are done, that means that now you don't have siege layers, now you don't have mounted layers, and it makes it so that other marches are going to be much more deadly towards you. So just be aware that that's where your weakness is falling. I'm not going to go through it on all your subsidies. Just make sure that you go through your subsidies, upgrade to Parthian gear. Specifically, I'd say focus more on... Get rid of these bows. I don't know why you have the bow. I would get rid of all these bows. Because the... you should be focusing on the spears and the axes. That they give you better debuffs. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but yeah, those are the ones that you want to focus on. If you want to debuff ground more, spears. If you want to debuff range more, I'd go with the axes. And honestly, the axes are probably going to be better overall. One archer rally 0. Like, it depends on what kind of players you're going against. Yes, if this, I have a small alliance, where like I'm the second biggest player in my alliance, and I'm 4.5 billion power. And what I'm saying is, what I would do to take out somebody her size. We typically go against players that are even 20 billion power. It's funny, Battlefield today, we went against a team called RSP. I thought that was pretty hilarious. We completely destroyed them. But it was just funny. It was like, respect RSP. And I was like, this is kind of funny. Okay, so I think that's... I'll do a quick check on the Senate. See what you have on the Senate right here. Okay, are you doing... Okay, you have enough for... You can promote right now. I don't know if you want to promote. Attacking... I don't know. I'm not... I kind of just want to promote just because it's available. Okay, you have troops everywhere. I'm not going to mess with this. Basically... upgrade it. You can promote it. I'm not going to do it because I don't know if that's going to be your strategy. You're going to have a strategy. And I've had players that ask me, you know, what general should I use? What skill book should I use? I'm like, you guys have to figure it out. I can't build everyone's keep. The last thing would be Special Bestials. So let's take a look at this real fast before... This will be the last thing I'm going to look at before I go. Okay, so a big thing on Spiritual Bestials is that, you know, what is this? This is the, what is his name? Nandi, right? So, I don't know if this was something that Ebony messed up. Some people have made videos on this. But see how, like, well, not Nandi. which one was it? Oh, it was this one. Sorry, it was whatever this guy is. If you look at his stuff, it's all 20%, 30%, 50%. It's huge buffs. Where if you compare it to the other ones, they're not. So you definitely want to prioritize upgrading this Chimera looking guy first over the other ones. So for example, if we upgraded to right here, it's 20, 30, 40, 50%. That's way better than these other ones. Though I still would kind of like just upgrade them evenly. So I'm not even going to look at here. I'm just going to upgrade them kind of evenly because your troops are kind of like an even amount of everything. So I'm not. So here we just gave you NC 10% attack, and this is just NC mounted troop attack. That's insane. Okay, so we're gonna go to this next one. We're gonna upgrade this one to 11. How do you unlock the bottom? It's just how many times you have these seal attributes. So see how I'm going to each one. I'm giving each one 1. This is at 7. When it reaches level 10, it's going to unlock this. So I'm going to go through it again. Bring them all to level 2. And it's unlocked because we are now at 11. This one right here is going to unlock at 15. So we're just going to go through here again. And now you have Siege Machine Defense unlocked at 15. So I wouldn't overinvest into any specific one of these unless you have a strategy. I think it's a fair strategy to invest into a specific like if you want your archers to be very strong, you can overinvest into one of these seals. But just know that that costs a lot to do that. So you're missing out on your defensive buffs if you do that. So you're at level 10. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this seal once. And not only did it give you marching ground HP, which whatever, but now you have 10% ground troop attack. So I think it's better to just do it evenly. Overall, for your overall defense, it's just better to do it evenly. Yeah, no problem. Honestly, if you don't know what to do, and this is, like I said, if you don't know what to do, if you don't have a strategy specifically, you can wait on this, but definitely look at it as something to do. You could just evenly go through it, and it'll just evenly buff your troops. But going for buffs are always something good. You'll have them forever. Troops become a liability. So I think I went over that quite specifically. For your troops, try to save Blood of Ares. You need Blood of Ares on your duty generals. You're missing out on a lot of these buffs. These buffs, it says in-city, right? You see the in-city ranged troop. That's not just defensive. That's when you're reinforcing somebody. So when you're reinforcing somebody, you're getting all these buffs. That's why these are really important. It's for reinforcing. It's for your defense. We take a look at your embassy, which is... I have no idea where your embassy is. It's tavern. One day I'll find the embassy. That's a forge. That's a war hall. Oh, there it is. So what's your duty general for your embassy? Okay, that's good. At least it's super. Yeah. So one thing that a lot of people get mixed up on this is, when I first played the game, I got this mixed up too. I thought this meant the troops that are reinforcing my keep, get all these buffs. No, it's really what buffs your troops are getting when you're reinforcing somebody else. So this should always be a super embassy officer. Don't forget that. That's something that I see a lot of people miss out on. Okay. Uh, I mean that's all I have. Uh, if anybody has any specific questions before I go. Actually, this is this is nice. You actually did a pretty good job on this. That's actually great. Third star, third star is best for duty generals. Yeah, it does get expensive. I so it was funny. My defense strategy before I and here's what I suggest to anybody listening to this right now. If you're making your defense, uh, as much as you may want to 5-star your defensive general, don't. If you are not sure you're going to keep that defensive general for the rest of the time you're playing the game, or at least for the next couple years, don't 5-star your defensive general. Uh, Ascend all of your duty generals instead. Because, like, you're right here, like, how many Blood of Ares it takes to, so this is going to be 150 Blood of Ares to ascend, and you're going to bring it up to the 5 stars. You could be ascending your duty generals all an additional star, and that's going to give you way more than whatever this is, okay? So, again, I recommend ascend your duty generals before you send your uh, defense general. I mean, you can ascend your defense general 1 or 2, but just remember that you may want to change. Like, if this player wants to get rid of Queen Boudica or Boudicca, however people want to pronounce it, they have to decide: do they want the Blood of Ares or do they want the Runestones? So it is better to invest in your duty generals first. Uh, but I mean that's all for me. I got 30 minutes to do my dailies, so I'm gonna probably focus on that. It is, yeah, you're right. It is. It is difficult to focus on what generals to focus on, especially when every week Ebony introduces a better general. So Metal Goddess, I'm going to give you just a list of things to look at whenever you have time. Yeah, this is all time consuming. I was happy just to explain some things of your account, but yeah, doing the refines, doing the Blazons, doing the all that stuff, you probably want to wait for an event for it, but really focus on that. Um, Also, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put a duty general on your military academy. This will save you a lot of speed ups. Even if you don't have the military academy duty general, just sending a general right here will save you speed ups for your research, including for your normal academy research. Okay? Anyway, if you guys have nothing else, thanks for joining the stream. God, think about VC though.